Hello and welcome to the Real Life Alexa channel. My name is Alexa and this is my real life. I've titled this video One Step, One Video because every journey that we take does start with a single step. I have found this to be true in many ways, many times over the course of my life, and that first step is often the hardest. Now, technically, I did put up my intro video before doing this video, but this is the first video where I'm actually going to talk about me, about life, and let's see where it goes. I have been a prolific YouTube watcher, user for quite a while, and I think like many people, I have felt silenced over my life in many ways and at many times. Now, that may have been myself silencing me. I think that it is prolific for women to feel like they don't speak up as much as they should. I definitely find it easier to speak up for others, and so I have practiced using my voice to do that and speak up for others, and I'm trying very hard to learn how to do it for myself. I've always felt that I might hide away quite a bit. There's people I think will resonate with my message and with the things that I have experienced and the things that I'm able to share. And there's going to be people that don't like me no matter what I do, no matter what I say. They don't understand it. They're not going to want to hear any of it. And that's okay. What's not okay is that I have struggled to get myself to this point because I was worrying about the people that maybe I didn't want to share my story with them. And this medium allows you to connect with so many people, but it doesn't allow you to control who gets to hear your story. And your story is yours. My story is mine. I own it. And I should get to choose who hears it. What I realized and what I've really grappled with recently is that some very brave people shared their stories, and I heard it throughout my life. And they didn't worry about the people who didn't need to hear it, didn't want to hear it. They worried about the people who needed to hear the message. And if it wasn't for those people, I wouldn't be where I am today. I am very open about my struggles in limited circles, and I am very getting better about being honest about my wins and my accomplishments. Side note, going to try very hard not to say but it is something we all do. So we can all continue to learn how to take that out of our vocabulary. Me included. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I've been thinking about using my voice. Except all of the channels that I watch, none of them felt quite like me. I watch a few van life channels, but I don't do van life. I have set up a little bed in the back of my car. I will sleep at rest stops on long trips. I know I did that once so far. Gone out camping. It's something that interests me, but I know it wouldn't be the thing I want to do all the time. And there's so many people out there that do it so well. I wouldn't be the one to offer anything on that type of topic. There are people who talk about my favorite football team, soccer team, which is Everton Football Club, the UK. Don't ask me why they are right now. There's a lot of issues going on, and starts at the top of the club, and the Premier League is not making a good case for them being impartial. They have definitely done a lot of questionable things to not just Everton, but a few other clubs that are not their golden children. But there's also much more enthusiastic, eat, sleep, live, breathe, everything blue. And their channels are great. I would be coming in as a novice. I live in the US. I'm not there going to a game every week in, week out. If I was in the UK, I'd almost certainly have a season ticket and be trying to go on all the away trips as life allows. But again, it's not something that I felt that I could make a channel out of and consistently do something with. I watch a lot of true crime documentaries, but I'm not going to sit here and track down the stories and footage and clip it together. That's not what I want to do either. There is a certain bearded competitive food eater that I enjoy their videos, with the caveat that I don't actually always watch them eat because I have something called misophonia and watching people eat is really gross. I think the thing with his videos is there's a lot of humor in them, and when he is eating very quickly, he's not chewing, and chewing is really the issue for me in the visual watching people eat. It's the sound is also disgusting, and he puts a lot of music over to disguise the sound, so I don't really think that competitive eating and letting other people watch me eat is my thing, because the thought of watching people eat them, it's really weird that I even watch his videos. Don't know how or why I do that. And I could keep going. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's so much that I have watched over the years. There's so many things that I'm interested in. I very much enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's so many programs out there, so many YouTube channels that you can watch. I wouldn't have enough of any of these subjects to create a full channel around it. But here's what I do have. I have compassion. I have kindness. I have an absolutely deep-rooted value of justice. And I am a learner. I am a lifelong learner. And I hope that by sharing some of my journey with others, and maybe touching on some of those other topics I've mentioned here and there throughout that journey, but by encouraging people and by modeling a way of being okay with being human, that I can hopefully help other people who may be in a place that I was in 10, 15 years ago and needed someone to give their voice to my feelings. Don't worry, it's not going to be all doom and gloom. I probably will tear up during certain things when I even stuff that really shouldn't be teared up over. My current place in my journey is that I do tear up at things, and I feel that there's potentially times I really didn't cry in the past when I should have, and kind of the tears are catching up with me. It's a little bit of a weird way to think about it, so maybe it's not true, but maybe it is. We don't know what our body holds in it. We don't know everything about our biology, our DNA, our minds, how everything is interconnected. One day maybe humans will, and that would be, I find that stuff fascinating. So I will probably share things that I find on various scientific publications where they're sharing research studies. I am very, very, very encouraging of you to always question the motives of who is posting something. So a lot of these scientific journals, they post papers to be peer-reviewed. There was a site within the past few years put up by people who were promoting certain cures for our recent COVID pandemic. And when I went to this site and tried to find out who ran the site, how they were connected to the research study they were writing these glowing articles about, you couldn't find it. I had to dig and dig and dig until I found them mention 2 people. And when I Googled those people in relation to the study, it turns out that they were actually authors of the study, or had funded the authors. I believe one of them funded the authors. They had to hide that they were themselves promoting this study. They had posted this study on a peer review site, and every comment I read from other people on this site approved to, there's some sort of, you have to prove you work within an industry to be able to comment on studies loaded under that kind of tag, I guess. Everyone else who had posted on this study, their questions were so valid, and none of the answers from the people who published the study were there. Were addressing the questions, I should say. So I definitely encourage everyone to do that digging. Who is posting something? Who is going to benefit from it? And at the end of the day, scientists are people too. We all have a little bit of unconscious bias. There's no getting around it. That's how our brains work. But we have an opportunity, and I am fully a part of this because I am human. And if you're watching this, you're human, well, unless your pets are watching too, which would be a bit weird, but maybe they like the sound of a voice while they're at home alone all day. I don't know. We have an opportunity to question what we're doing and why we're doing it and why we're thinking certain things. So a really powerful thing that was told to me a few years ago, and I have to apologize because I don't remember who said this to me. It was someone I worked with at the time. They say your first reaction in a split second to something, to something happening. Someone walks in the room and you look at their clothes. A noise happens behind you. You read an article, whatever the thing is, that first reaction to that new piece of information you have received, that's what you've been taught and programmed to do. That is your reptilian brain, your amygdala. It is the unconscious part that goes on autopilot. And we see it very often when people are in stressful situations, that they revert back to language that was acceptable during their youth, because that is tucked away in the back of their brain, the autopilot feature. When you take a breath and your second thought comes through, and let's say you see someone walk in and they're wearing a top and you're like, oh, why are they wearing that? And your second thought is, who cares? They can wear what they want. Your second thought is who you are choosing to be. It is not an outdated autopilot. It is you. So here I am, encouraging myself to take one step, post one video, and share a little bit about me today. And my first thought was, oh God, I can't. And my second thought was, I absolutely can. My voice is as valid as everyone else's. And I deserve to give myself the kindness and the encouragement that I would give to others who wanted to try something new, anything new. So I hope that if you choose to join me on this journey, that you are able to find something useful. I hope that you are encouraged to maybe take that deep breath and think through something rationally, to turn the autopilot off. And I genuinely hope to create a space of acceptance. We give ourselves labels, and when we label ourselves, we are dividing ourselves from other people. So while I have a few labels I do give myself, the number one label that defines me is human. I will probably repeat this in future videos. I will probably go on about it at length again at some point about labels. Maybe that's one video I do at some point. We are all human. We are all flawed. We all have challenges, and there is not a single person, alive or dead or yet to come, who knows everything. It is impossible to know everything. And what that means is that we are all able to learn. There's things we can learn. And maybe we should create a world that celebrates learning and growing and getting better at things. It's been so hard to see a trend that is against learning and growing and admitting that we can be wrong. So I'm here to say it's okay. There is nobody out there who's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, and we could be in it together and get through it together. And together is often more powerful than alone. Well, that is my first video. It went in quite a few directions. I am absolutely sure that if I am able to keep this up for any length of time, substantial amount of time, I will look back on this and say, wow, I would have done so much differently if I did it at that point. But that's the point, because I don't know what I don't know yet. Pretty excited to find out, though. Be kind to yourself. Take care.